Hey guys, what's going on? It's Alex with Precision Auto Diagnostics again. And I'm going to go ahead and apologize now. The shop that I work for, this truck is right out next to the highway. So there's probably going to be some road noise in the background. But it is completely broken down and can't move. And I'm up here on a Saturday and don't have enough people to push this thing. So this is a 2020 Ford F-250. And the customer complaint is he installed some batteries. He was out of his deer lease, and it just died or was dead when he came out to it. Would not start, would not do anything. Another shop also put 2 new batteries on, and nothing. And believe it or not, the key is actually on right now. And the only thing that we get is when you open the door, the backlighting on the cluster comes up, and the mileage of not even, well, no, surely that can't be right. 418,000 miles? 418,000 miles, apparently. Well, all right, well, let's see if we can scan the vehicle. And hopefully I'm going to try to focus on the screen just in case the screen recorder does not work. I did try to scan this with an Altel, the IM608 that I think you guys saw in a previous video. This is my launch X4031. What is this one? The throttle? Yeah, the throttle 3. So, no, it would not auto ID with the Altel, and I had to manually enter the VIN. I'm assuming the same thing's gonna. Oh no, it did auto ID with this one. Okay. Well, maybe that's something that the launch has over the Altel. I'm not sure where it's pulling the VIN from. Because when I scanned it with the Altel, it would only scan the ABS and a few other modules, but the BCM, PCM, TCM, most of the high-speed bus was down. I still have no cluster as far as any information or okay. Well, that's one error. And I'm not entirely sure what causes this error, but I have had it happen. Generally only on Fords, and I have to go in and I will have to manually enter what this vehicle is. Manually select year model Ford F-Series with a 6.7 liter diesel, not Cummins, and 2020 year model. Now I don't know if that's oh no. Well, I guess I had to enter the VIN. Let's see. Set you guys down and do that real quick. And on these newer Fords, apparently you do have to be, at least with this tool, you have to be connected to the internet to do anything. So, I'll turn on my hotspot here. Okay, and there we go, guys. Signature verification failed. I don't know what that's about either. It will still scan the car every time I've ever had to do this, but I'm not sure what the signature verification failed is about. I'm assuming it's something that this tool can't do, where it's going to attempt to talk to a Ford server. If I had to guess. So let's see. Okay, there we go. 2020 model year. Okay. And we're in, guys. All right, let's scan it real quick. See if, yep. Okay, so as you guys can see there, and it's going to go through scanning all the other modules, but we have an ABS module, but we have No body control, no powertrain, no TCM, and no, I'm not sure what some of these other ones are, but go and hop into Google Chrome real quick. And let's go to all data. Alright, well, we're into all data, guys. So, of course, I have to handwrite the VIN again, because I try as much as I can, unless it's something that's so old that it has a VIN that won't decode, to do everything based off of the VIN number. It just helps cut down on, you know, different issues. If something's optioned with something, you know, cars have so many systems and are so complicated now. At least if you look it up by VIN, there is less of a chance that it will be incorrect. That does not mean that it will always be correct. And if something does not look as it should, definitely get back in there. You know, definitely double check. I've had a number of times where service info has just very obviously been wrong. You know, you're looking at the car and it's completely different from what the OE and the aftermarket stuff says. So let's go to, I'm just going to move the camera and just hope that the screen recording all goes well and that it also plays nice in the edit. So we'll just kind of see how this goes. I may have to get a different screen recorder if this doesn't work. Let's go to power distribution. Let's do this a different way. Power and ground distribution, power distribution. Go into the diagram and let's search PCM. Now, I have not even popped the hood on this thing, guys. I get the feeling that probably what happened is that I don't know what originally happened with it, but the batteries may have gotten weak. The customer may have left something on. I'm just going to clear that out. I think that's what's bringing up the keyboard. But we've got our PCM here, and it comes in from the PCM power relay, which is on PCM power relay there. Comes in through the battery junction box on the right side of the engine compartment from a red wire straight off of the battery. And there's, according to the diagram, no fuse in between those two. That seems a little odd to me. I mean, I understand that, you know, maybe they have a fuse here. This back out of this real quick and go back in. This fuse 15. Well, that's not what I wanted, but it's giving me a really hard time trying to click that fuse 15. But you guys can see it just directly below this PCM power relay here. Yeah, I'm just going to peel this off the screen protector, guys, and hopefully that makes it where I can touch this thing better. Oh yeah, that's much better. Is it? Maybe. Well, in any case, I think it's to do with all the air bubbles underneath the screen protector. But yeah, so we've got a fuse 15 after the PCM power relay, the PCM power relay itself, and then yeah, no fuses, straight to the battery off a red wire that is in the high current battery junction box. Well, I guess let's open up the hood, guys, and see if we have any obvious issues. And I'm out here with, oh no. So you guys have to bear with me. I did not bring a hood prop. Oh, and there's already a bad sign. So that's a 30 amp fuse that's had the pins pulled out of it. Oh no. Okay. Well, I already see a number of issues, guys. I don't know how well it's going to focus on that. I'm trying to do this one-handed. Sorry for the shaking. But those bolts for the fuse box are not tight in any way. Well, I really wish I would have brought something to prop this hood open with. That is unfortunate. I'll tell you what, I'm going to set you guys down. And I'm going to go get a stick or something. Okay, guys, let's try this again. Okay, so as you guys can see, these bolts are backed way out. Yeah, I'm very confused here as to what exactly happened. Because based off what the customer in the other shop said, there should not have been anything done to this. Well, there's the fuse box lid. And this should be any of this loose in any way. No, not terribly so. Not enough that I would think that would be an issue. Yeah, but from again, that's kind of where the getting good info is good, but very obviously, we did not get all the info on this because people have been in here and people have been touching things. So if you guys look here on the side of this high current battery junction box, we have a 275 amp fuse, one that says shunt, a 125 and a 200 amp fuse. And there's also this upper 275 amp fuse that's feeding that. So I'm curious if they just, surely they couldn't have blown the entire large 275, or I would think that we wouldn't have any power into our instrument cluster, and it would just be completely dead. But I have concerns about the screws that are loose in the Screws that are loose in that battery junction box. I've got my OTC 3633 test light with the power probe adapter. Just hooked straight to the battery, and I chopped off. This thing comes with a little alligator clip, but I've cut off the end and soldered just a banana jack onto the end so I can plug into all the power probe adapters and not have to worry about that small small clamp coming loose. So good power there. Power there. Power there. And let me climb up on here a little bit better, guys. And we have power on that shunt. That other 275 is empty, but we do have power on all the fuses, all the high current fuses on the battery junction box, or the, I believe they called it the high current box. So now what I want to do, and sorry about that, guys, Ford's put the fuse box right behind the battery. And I know you guys probably can't see through my hand, but I'm just poking really quick. Okay, we do have power in this box, at least in some places. So you guys can see there is power getting into the box. And this should be the one of the main relay housings. I think this is for the upfitters, but I'm not sure. Oh, we've also got a deleted or broken coolant hose over here. So, the other thing I don't like about this, guys, is on this battery terminal there's a lot of corrosion. And a small spot on the intercooler that I don't know if it was just corrosion sitting on it or if maybe it arced out. Because that could always be an issue. So let's go back and look at our diagram here. Yeah, so at least power coming into the fuse box is okay. Now, for us to have multiple module, and I say multiple module failures, but multiple modules not communicating, I would be surprised that we didn't blow a main fuse and we just burned up all the modules. So I want to go in and check fuse 14 and fuse 15, 10 and 20 amp in the fuse box, in the, what's this in? The battery junction box on the right side. Yeah, so the box that has all the screws loose. So 14 and 15. Let's see what that would be, guys. Need the lid. Sorry about all the shaky footage. Let's trying to get this done. It's pretty late in the day, and this time of year around here it gets dark around 5:30, and it's 2:30. So, so we have fuse 15 here, and fuse. Well, surely that's not right, but it says fuse 14 is here. And there appears to be a melted hole. Let's see if I can set you guys down here and focus on that. A melted hole in that fuse box right there next to that 20 amp, which is probably where that 30 amp went. See if I can get this fuse box diagram laid out correctly. That would be number 10. That's of a concern as to why that might have blown, but so before we get too distracted, I want to just see what that and start going down this this other path. I want to see what that fuse, I believe it's 10. That fuse 10 feeds. So let's go back to the fuse box diagram. Really quickly, and search for. Let's just try searching for. No, that's. Let's try fuse 10. If I spelled fuse correctly. 10. Okay, 2 found. So let's see. Looks like sorry guys, I don't know why that keeps coming up like that. Fuse 10 in the upfitter box. Nope. I've probably passed it already. Let's see here. You guys have to bear with me. I'm normally doing this on my laptop, not on the tablet. And if I just gone past it so many times already, it's very possible. Okay, guys, either I'm blind or I just can't find it, so let's just do it the hard way. Let's try this a different way. Oops. Let's go to this here, Ford. And if you guys have never used this startmycar.com, this is a really good resource for, I mostly use it for Fords and some of the newer GM vehicles where they don't put the fuse layout in the fuse box lid, and when it's something like this truck where I can't find the owner's manual. So this is a 2020 F-250 engine compartment. Okay guys, I'm going to try to get that to resync up. The camera just shut off for some reason. I may have to change a setting, and it may have an auto timer. Let's look at this. See if I can turn off this highlight here. I'll just reset it. There we are. Okay, so this, yeah, fuse 15 and fuse 14. 9, 16, 18, 27. Fuse 14 and fuse 15. Okay. I'm just checking to see really quickly what some of these other 10 amps do in here, just in case we do or don't have power on them. That's another nice thing about this diagram also, is that you can click on different fuses. Okay, so this is maybe one situation where this may not be totally correct, because this says fuse 15 is a passenger seat power and fuse 14 is a body control module battery feed. In the battery junction box, which this also is calling the engine compartment fuse box. So, which that appears to not be correct for this diagram. So I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's hop out of here and go into OE power distribution. And oh my, well, that's a lot of diagrams. Okay, so that agrees. That is one nice thing about the aftermarket ones. If they are, if they're accurate, at least you get all of the feeds on one. All the feeds on one diagram. So, battery junction box to body control module. We've got a 40 amp, and a 25 amp. Let's see if I can just find the ones for the PCM. Okay, here we go. So we have a okay, so the PCM power relay is non-serviceable. It's part of the battery junction box. And we have fuse 15 that should be hot and start or run. That feeds, looks like 4 different power feeds. Okay, so I guess let's have a look at that. She's 15, 20 amp, and I guess we get a good look at if that fuse is blown or not. Let's see here. Fuse 15, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna double check. I'm just gonna bring this out underneath the car with us, guys. I've had this in the driver's seats. That's the long pauses is me having to walk all the way around the truck every single time. Okay, so it says fuse 15, 20 amp in the battery junction box, which I'm in, and it would appear that I have this turned correctly. If you guys look, according to our fuse box legend, you should have fuses 2, 7, and 15 in somewhat of a row. It looks like we have fuses 2, 7, and 15. And 15 has a 30 amp installed in it, which is incorrect. And Ford, in their infinite wisdom, has decided to put J-case fuses, which you can only really check by looking down into them. And I don't think there's any way for me to get that to focus nicely for you guys. So I'm just going to pull it out. And it does not appear to be blown. No, it is definitely not blown, guys. So, let's at least see while I have it out. If we have power. And it would appear that we do not. And nothing there. And nothing there. And I don't know if you guys can see it. Okay, there we go. I'm on both legs of the fuse box down in there, and I have nothing on either leg. If we refer back to our diagram, that fuse 15 is after the PCM power relay. Now that relay may not be turning on, and I can get a tool to put in line with these J-case fuses and put power to it, so we can try that if we need to. I would really like to find out if that PCM power relay has just died, if it's been blown out, if those bolts being loose are not letting it make contact, just anything like that, guys. You never know what you're going to run into whenever somebody has been here before you. And the other part of it too, if you look at this diagram here, on this diagram, which shows the powertrain control module over here on the right. On this diagram, there's this violet gray wire. That is part of the control side of the PCM power relay, which means that the PCM turns that relay on. So the PCM being dead may not even, may mean that this isn't even turning the relay on. Well, no, actually I'm wrong on that, guys, because if you look here, on the other side of that relay. No, never mind. I'm sorry. Trying to do this live out by a highway is kind of messing with my head a little bit. But no, that fuse 15, both terminals on that fuse would be after the relay. So, let's see. So there's a fuse 14, which is something's not right about this fuse box diagram. I'm going to back out and go, let's say just based off of this. That or I'm somehow in the wrong fuse box, but that's the only fuse box out under this hood. I'll tell you what we can do too then, is just look up battery junction box and make sure that we are in fact in the right relay, or in the correct fuse box. Battery junction box, right front of engine compartment. It shows that battery junction box is, so that is the battery junction box. I'm not sure why some of these fuses aren't correct. So what we can do here, let's go in and search fuse and see if ALLDATA has the fuse box diagram. Okay, they do. And if you guys look at that, that is completely different from what this fuse box lid says. There are fuse numbers on here, like the 70 down in the bottom right corner, where it says F-250. But does that mean it's fuse 25 or does that mean it's fuse 70? Because if you go by this, which would make a lot more sense, I'm going to stick that 30 amp back in right now so I don't forget. But if you look at this, which it would make a lot more sense, there's a fuse 14 somewhere. Well, I can see fuse 15 and 16. Oh, there's a fuse. Okay, there's fuse 14. Which is a 10 amp. And I'll bring you guys back on the camera real quick so you can see it. That would be fuse 14, which is good. Good on both sides. If you look at this diagram, right there, that says fuse 68. So I'm not sure why that's so incorrect, but that's good. And let's see, fuse 15, which would be fuse 51 according to this fuse box lid, which is a 20. If it would focus. we go. And no power there. And no power there. If we go back and look here, there is, fuse 15 and 14. Which is after the PCM power relay. So we need to look at this trace 13-3. -2. -1. Which is coming straight from that red into the battery junction box. We go back to, I believe we were on page 4. Page 4. So this is a permanently hot leg coming in, hot and start or run on a non-serviceable relay. We do have power coming into the box. There is only one feed into the box. So either the PCM is just dead, or something may have happened to this fuse box. So let's open this up in another tab here. I'm a big tabs guy, so sorry about that if that's an issue for you guys. I know that's not everybody's thing, but I like to be able to just quickly go back and forth and find what I need. Let's see, so that's in there, hot at all times, fuse 76, 30 amp, fuse 76, and I'm just trying to find something where I know that this fuse box doesn't have an issue, you know, on that one leg. 676. Fuse 70, 71. This does not have a fuse 76. Okay. There is a fuse 25. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sure this video is going to be very unentertaining by the end. Let's see, fuse 25. 45, 5, 58, 25, all the way down here by itself, 30 amp. As you guys can see, fuse is good on both sides. So, we can kind of conclude from that the PCM power relay, even though it's non-serviceable, should have power to the relay, because that 30 amp fuse is on the same leg. So I tell you what we should probably do is go ahead and at least attempt to power up fuse 15 on its own. and just see what that's going to do. Let's see what else is on that circuit. So there's a fuse 15, 20 amp on the left, fuse 16 goes into D on 13-6. Which is also going to feed the engine brake switch, the cooling fan. Okay, so that PCM power relay powers on a lot of things. Let's see, 17, 13-8 and 9. It also powers all the coil on plug. What? Did I miss an option somewhere that says this is a diesel or not? Yeah, I mean, obviously he doesn't have coil-on plugs, so. Oil pressure control cylinder. Okay, so this just has, if it's a diesel, it has extra things. Okay. Let's go 13-9. To be a little bit better direction on this. But yeah, okay, so knock sensor, ducting sensor, glow plug module. Yeah, this is even showing more stuff for a diesel, things for CNG. Trailer feeds, trailer tow, tow access, starter relay. C13 dash. Fuel pump relay, PowerPoint. Hey guys, this thing feeds just about every damn thing. And I don't know that I can power that up that way. Yeah, okay, that'd be an interesting one. And those fuse box screws being loose, you know, I guess I should probably tighten those before we go too much further. Because it may just have it where that can't make a good enough connection in those connectors. I would be surprised if that was the case, but let me go have a look at that, and let me go get a tool, and I'll be right back with you guys, and we'll see what that does. Because if that doesn't work, I'm not sure how to power up that circuit in a safe way anyway. Okay, guys. So I think things have progressed a little bit. Found that that fuse box diagram issue that we were having, it just sort of switches back and forth between whatever it wants, whenever it wants. Sometimes it's that 10, like I said, this is fuse 60. Sometimes that's fuse 60, sometimes that's fuse 10. Not on this particular fuse, but just sort of throughout the diagram. It just sort of switches between what this says as far as like an F number, and then what the box top says as far as what does what. Because there are some that are obviously like, oh, it's a large JK 60 amp fuse, and oh no, it's a, if you go by one or the other, it might be a 10 amp, micro like ATC fuse or something like that. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that. I think that's just a service info issue, or I don't know what the difference in that 10 and that F60 means, because it doesn't seem to mean anything. But I found fuse 16 10 amp, and it feeds the PCM and the TCM. And if I give it power through this little amp loop to battery power, I get my PCM and my TCM back on the network. And I have missing comm and body control module, missing comm and body control, contribution balance, a bunch of incorrect codes, a misfire code, oil pressure too low code. I'm not sure if that's a byproduct of whatever happened to this thing, and it didn't just have an issue and there was something else that went wrong, or not, but I still don't have a body control module. And granted, all I'm doing is feeding the let's get back in here. I'm feeding this 10 amp fuse. So, if I go and check, let's say fuse 18, let's use this as an example. Fuse 18, which is, let me find it really quickly here. Fuse 18. Where is 18? Right there. Fuse 18. This says that would be fuse 64, which is also evidence. Well, you guys know what I mean. Evident based on the fact that this says fuse 18 and this says 64. So if I look down here, that would be the fuse that it's talking about, 20 amp. And it says right here, fuse 18, right there, 10 amp. So if I go up here and I find this fuse 18, which would be, I believe that's correct. Let me double check. That, according to the box top, no, I'm sorry. 9, 18. Okay. No, I'm actually wrong. This is confused me so badly that I'm actually in the wrong fuse, and I have fixed it, I guess. So this would actually be in fuse 18. Which was a 10 amp, and I'm assuming that I'm feeding this whole line now. Yeah, okay, so now, because I'm powering up that fuse, I'm actually powering everything on that leg. So, just so you guys can kind of see where I am, I'm not on fuse 16, I'm on fuse 18, which are, next to each other like this, in that box. So, I'm on the transfer case control module, but because, this entire leg here of this fuse box has no power right now, and I'm assuming that's due to the run start relay not functioning. That means that the PCM, the body control, PCM, transfer case, some of the ABS is not non-functional right now. Which means that I have an issue with this run start relay, which is, I haven't found any information on it, but I assume it's another non-serviceable relay that is a part of that fuse box. So I'll bring you guys back if I can get some more information or find something else in service data. And just so you guys can see kind of what I'm talking about, I was looking for a fuse 70, which is, according to the diagram here, and just another way to show that this is not, something's wrong. So I've got a fuse 70 there, and I've got a fuse 70 down in the it'd be the bottom right of the fuse box, which is this 30 amp fuse right here. But if I look at what the diagram shows is fuse, the OE diagram that says, it's fuse 70, it would be this 10 amp fuse here. So again, just something's definitely wrong, either in service info or with the just with service info, I suppose. Okay guys, so I wanted to check and make sure the ignition switch is at least working, and that would be from 38 and 39 here, and I've got the single channel U-scope hooked up here, and I've got the connector pulled out down here. I'm just gonna very gently, because you don't want to push on this too hard. Let you guys set up down here. Something like that. It's gonna be kind of a difficult shot to get down on the floorboard, but you can see the line on the scope here jumped. Let's see. Is there something I can put? Oop. Let's just put these under there for now. Oh boy. Okay. So I'm just going to very gently set that against the pin for the run circuit from the ignition switch, and I'm just going to cycle the key. So there's off, key in. So there's our key in switch. I believe this is the run switch. So that's run. And then start is, I believe, I had to refer back to the diagram. Give me 1 second. Like 50, because 50 is the accessory. $251.50. there's accessory. There's run. So I believe our ignition switch should be okay. So I need to try to find a diagram with body control module, powers and grounds, and make sure we have everything there. But the way that it acts and with how much the body control module actually controls, I'm starting to feel like we might have a body control module failure. Okay guys, so I've got the key off right now, completely off, keys out of the truck, sitting on the console. And I basically have no key on function at all from anything. You can see the ABS still talks, the APIM still talks, key on, key off, engine off, just sitting on the console. And if I go ahead and turn on, I'm back probed, or sorry, not back probed, I have a piercing probe in the wire for the wake up signal coming out of the BCM going into the engine control module. And if I turn the key to any position, put the key in, hold it in start, anything, nothing happens. And I've already checked. I have a good ground at the BCM. I have power. Go ahead and scan one more time. All the same module scan, and that's it. Get back into all data. Go and have a look at this real quick. So there is this fuse 36 60 amp, which comes in on this large wire here, which is good. It does have power. And then there are these three fuses, fuse 1, 2, and 3, 240s and a 25 amp. That come from this 25 amp here, this 40 amp here, and this 40 amp here. These are all good. I pulled them out off camera, checked them. The fuses are not blown. The hot side of those fuses all have power. And it's too much to get in there, but these connectors in here, they do have power on them, so the BCM is not missing any powers. All the fuses in the BCM and in the battery junction box that have power are not blown. And we have, if you look at the diagram again, on our ignition, accessory, and key in, and on our start, going into the BCM, we do have input coming from the ignition switch into the body control module on this same connector that I'm pinned in, or that I'm probed into down here. And here is our ECU driver PCM wake up line that does nothing. The BCM also, drives the instrument cluster, which is still just nothing but backlights, and an odometer, which happens whenever the door is opened. That's a whole separate circuit. So really, I don't really have any other conclusion that I can make besides we're not getting a wake-up signal. The PCM, if it's powered on outside of the body control module, will come up and we'll talk on the network. It and the transmission control module will, but the BCM has all of its powers and grounds and will not talk on the network. So I'm gonna see if I can find the communication lines really quickly on this diagram, and we'll check that there is a communication bus to this module, but it's looking more and more like just a BCM failure. Okay guys, so I found out that connector down here that we were looking at that I thought was the right one, this one here that I thought was the right one, when I thought the one up top that I still can't really see or pull down, that one right there that I'm probed into. Again, sorry, I know this video is kind of a mess. They have the location for this connector and the location for this connector backwards in service info. This is the connector that has all three powers, besides this one. It has the three powers in the single connector in that connector, and they are good. And it also houses the CAN bus. So I have the bus is totally dead if I don't force the PCM to wake up, which is what this is from. I reinstalled my little fuse bypass just to try to, I didn't want to have to ohm all the wires out. So I have a decent bus signal. That would be CAN high, and then swap really quickly, and that would be CAN low. So it has all powers, all grounds, and CAN bus, and no wake up signal, and it has ignition switch input to the BCM. So that's it, we're done. I'm calling a bad BCM. If they decide to do it, I'll let you guys know. We'll bring you in on that. I will try to bring you in for the programming part of it, just so you guys can kind of see what that looks like, because this will also have anti-theft programming attached to it. And just so you guys know, if you do go do this on your own, if the customer does deny it, you will need 2 keys. The factory, at least to do it with the factory software, which is how we do it here. Factory software, this is a 2020, so it should be FDRS with 2 new keys, and you will also need NASDIF, which is a automotive locksmithing company that, or maybe not company, but organization that you can be a part of, because without that you will not be able to program the anti-theft portion of this. It is not free, and you had to have business insurance and a few other things. But if you go to I think it's nasdif.org, or you just type in NASDIF, NASTF, I believe, in Google, it will bring you to the page you need to get to, and there's a bunch of paperwork you need to fill out and send in, and then there's paperwork after you do it that you have to fill in with the customer's license and proof of ownership and a few other things that I'll have to do on the back end that I can't show you guys, even if I do get to show you the programming. So yeah, if you're going to do this on your own, this may be something you have to take to a shop or to a dealer, but we'll see what they want to do, and I'll at least update you guys if they want to do it and if it works, even if I don't get to film it, but we're going to try for that. So thanks guys for watching, and if this is the end of this one, then we'll catch you on the next one, and if not, we'll bring you guys back whenever we can.